Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a weight loss hypnosis session created for a client that would quite often think about eating a lot, and that's not uncommon with people that have in the past struggled with weight loss, because a lot of weight loss approaches paradoxically encourage people to think about food and eating more than they did before they ever decided to lose weight. Quite often when I work with people that have been on diets for sometimes over a decade, I'll ask them when they were a child or when they were a young teenager, how often did they think about how much food they were eating or what they were eating? And normally it's very low levels, if at all. It's kind of like they ate when they were hungry, or they would eat at meal times, but they wouldn't really think about food. So sometimes the diet industry and the weight loss industry encourages people to think about food more. What's also fascinating is that people can get in a highly resourceful state when they need to. I've worked with many people that were able to lose a lot of weight for a holiday or a lot of weight for a wedding. And then after that point, they seem to gain the weight again. But it does demonstrate how resourceful people can be when they have a compelling vision of their future. What's also fascinating is that people in the movie industry are able to go through radical transformations in weight loss in relatively short time frames because it's deemed to be necessary for the role that they're in. So in this hypnosis session, there's two key elements. There's an element of seeing a movie star that has successfully lost weight and then seeing them before they lost the weight and getting into that mindset of what it would take if it just had to be done. But then paradoxically creating a strategy where you end up eating more food, but more of the right food. And a lot of the anxiety and stress that comes with weight loss is this feeling of scarcity and lack. Whereas if the intention is to eat more, but better, then actually that creates a polarity response, the inverse response, where you end up not wanting to eat that much at all. And everyone in their life has had a period of time where they just didn't think about food too much. They ate when they were hungry, but they didn't really think about it. They didn't really crave it. And that's the perfect resource state to be in to lose weight, is not to think about food too much. But to get to that point, bizarrely, you have to set yourself the challenge of eating more, but better. So in this case, this particular client was a big fan of quality protein, so steaks, fish, chicken, things like that, but also good quality vegetables cooked well. So this is a 60-day challenge almost to emulate the approach that movie stars would have if they were losing weight. And that is a combination of good quality single ingredient foods combined with intermittent fasting, but to create the polarity response to desire to eat less by eating more. In psychology, we call that the law of reverse effect. The harder you try, the more difficult it is to achieve. If you're looking to lose weight, as many people are, and you've tried lots of different approaches and you think that hypnosis might work for you, there will be a link in the show notes where you can schedule a free consultation call to explore working with me. But what you might find is that this session, although it was created for someone else, could be quite helpful. In which case, find a comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. As you breathe in, just imagine breathing in a feeling of powerful resourcefulness. Feel that feeling of calm, resourceful energy going in through your nose and into your lungs. And as you exhale, just experience this wonderful release. As feelings of stress or tension or worry leave your body in that outward breath. And as it does so, you're able to release the muscles in your chest, in your diaphragm, enabling you to breathe even deeper. And the deeper you breathe, the easier it is to release those feelings of tension. And sometimes tension isn't located where maybe you'd think it would be. We're used to thinking that tension is just in the neck and the shoulders. But sometimes it's in the forehead, sometimes around the eyelids, sometimes in the jaw. You can even have tension in fingers or toes. So as you breathe in and breathe out, have this wonderful sense that tension is being released. Finding it easier to breathe deeper from the diaphragm. And in doing so, doesn't it feel good to let go? I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine that you're sitting in your own private cinema. And I want you to imagine that on that screen is an actor. An actor that has a body shape that you would like that version for you. Maybe they have lower body fat. Maybe they have a leaner physique. Maybe they seem stronger or more physically powerful. It doesn't matter what they look like. What matters is they have attributes that are aspirational to you. Maybe you see them in an action movie. Maybe you see them in a different role. But I want you to get a sense that in most cases, the actor that you see in a movie is not the body shape they have in their everyday life. Quite often, they get the go-ahead on a movie role. And a body shape is a requirement of them turning up on that first day of shooting. And I want you to imagine that the body shape of that actor you see on that screen is 60 days after they were given the go-ahead for that movie. I want you to imagine the screen is now rewinding to what they looked like 2 months before. And I want you to imagine seeing the same actor, but slightly overweight. They now have 2 months to lose that weight, otherwise they don't get that role. And I want you to imagine, just on that screen, that actor or that person that ended up having the body shape that was aspirational for you is having a meeting with a nutritionist. And I want you to imagine seeing that actor say that they think about food all the time, that they don't think they can lose that weight in just 2 months. And on that screen, I want you to see that nutritionist saying that paradoxically, they want them to eat more. That for the next 60 days, they need to eat 3 meals a day, but in a window between lunchtime and the evening meal. Plenty of time for the body to remember how to burn fat, but to eat more in that window than they normally would. The only rule is that what they eat has to be meals that are protein and vegetable based. And I want you to think about what you would do in that situation. What are your favorite proteins? And I want you to create an image in your mind of an amazing steak, of chicken prepared the way that it's most desirable to you. That if you were thinking of a burger, you probably wouldn't want a cheap processed burger, but there might be a burger with very good quality ingredients that is desirable for you. And I want you to create an image of these protein foods at their most desirable: an amazing steak, well-prepared chicken, a burger prepared very well, maybe tuna prepared in a particular way that makes it so delicious and desirable for you. Maybe turkey breast, and maybe other proteins like salmon or other fish, maybe other varieties of amazing foods. But these are protein-based foods, and you realize that if it was your last meal on earth and you could choose between an amazing steak or an amazing piece of chicken, or eating sweets and confectionery, there's no way in the world, if it was your last meal, that you would choose the cheap, toxic, nasty, teeth-eroding confectionery. You would want a delicious, enjoyable meal. And then I want you to imagine your favorite vegetables. But again, as you think about them, I want you to think about them in the way that is the most desirable they could be. Because you could think of broccoli being in a packet on a supermarket shelf. That doesn't create any desire. Or you could imagine it on a plate with the steam coming off, close up, seeing that amazing, desirable texture, almost getting a sense of the smell. Or you could imagine carrots. You could imagine carrots being undesirable, but you could imagine them prepared in such a way where they seem succulent and desirable and delicious. And I want you to imagine these vegetables in the most desirable way possible, bright colors, close up, cooked, almost like it's just a short distance away from being in your mouth and being able to eat them. I want you to imagine amazingly well prepared sweet potatoes, cabbage cooked in the ideal way. I want you to picture the most incredible salads full of color, bright red tomatoes of all different varieties. The cherry tomatoes, the larger salad tomatoes, those vine tomatoes, all different colours and textures. See the cucumbers, the sliced cucumber, seeing the incredible amount of water and hydration that exists in a cucumber. And imagine avocados being mixed in. And I want you to imagine that even with just steak and chicken and tuna and turkey and burgers, with all the different vegetables that exist, you could have a different meal every single day for 60 days, never having the exact meal twice. Because with all the different lean proteins and all the different vegetables and all the different salads, there is almost an infinite combination of meals. But I want you to look at that actor on the screen 2 months before their role where they lost that weight and had that lean body shape. I want you to see that almost like you're following their life for 2 months. They don't eat anything for breakfast, but then at lunchtime they're preparing an amazing, delicious steak, maybe with salad. And then maybe 4 hours later, they're having perhaps tuna with avocado. And then maybe for the evening meal, they're having some turkey breast with broccoli or carrots. Each meal looks amazing. They're eating more than they normally would, but because they're eating genuine meals, natural ingredients, they stop thinking about food. And very soon, their digestive system starts being more efficient. They don't even think about food. And very soon, when they do think about food, it's because it's time to eat. But they already have a fridge filled with vegetables, lean proteins on hand. And yes, it requires a little bit of discipline to begin with, but very soon, this is simply what they do. So many meals and combinations of protein and vegetables. And I want you to see this actor very quickly have 2 or 3 favorite combinations. Maybe it's chicken and broccoli. Maybe it's steak and salad. Maybe it's a burger with cucumber, tomato, and avocado. I want you to see 3 or 4 combinations that tend to be more desirable than others. And the days turn into weeks, and the weeks end up turning into that 2 months. And in just 2 months, I want you to see that this actor changed from being overweight to lean, not by going on a diet, but just eating good quality food in a reliable, predictable way, giving plenty of time for the body to burn fat in that window when they weren't eating. And let's shift perspective now. I want you to imagine that you're rewinding, but I want you to imagine it's no longer the actor on the screen, it's you on the screen in your current body shape. And I want you to shift perspective so you're now in the movie. And for the next 60 days, I want you to feel what it would feel like to eat between lunchtime and your evening meal, but have 3 meals rather than 2, to eat more than you normally would, but eat protein and green vegetables. To set yourself the challenge of introducing new vegetables into your diet. there are incredible vegetables that you enjoy that you haven't had for months. And maybe that's asparagus. Maybe it's cauliflower. Maybe it's something else that when you think back, you think, I really enjoy that food, but I just haven't had it recently. And I want you to imagine what would be involved in buying the food, storing the food, preparing the food. And I want you to see how comfortable you get at batch cooking. That you cook enough for 5 meals, you eat one, and then you store 4 future meals for future days, knowing that you can put them in the freezer, put them in the fridge, reheat them in just a few moments. Could be in a microwave, or could be putting it back in a pan in a stir fry. Seeing how easy it is to do what you need for now, but to make it easier for the future. Almost every meal you make, you're making more than you need, eating a meal, storing more for later. And you're programming your mind to know that you have food available whenever you need it. You get hungry, you know that in the fridge or the freezer, you've got lots of meals. And I want you to think in terms of meals, not food. Each container is a meal, is a portion. More than enough, and you can have 2 meals if you get really hungry, but the more food you know is available, the less you desire it. The fact that the goal is to eat more food than you normally eat, paradoxically, makes you want food less. I want you to imagine the days go by and you find a rhythm. You find the foods that you like. You find your ideal combinations. You find that what you drink with the food is nice and refreshing. Maybe it's water or sparkling water or things low in sugar, low in calories. And very soon becomes easier and easier to get into a rhythm. And before you know it, I want you to imagine catching your own reflection, maybe in a shop window, maybe in a full-length mirror in the gym. And you realize that by trying to eat more, you've actually lost weight. That there is no lack of food, there's more. But in doing so, you have more than you need, and therefore desire it less. Until 2 months go by, you have a new relationship with food. You have the ability to snack on protein, but you desire meals, not snacks. And you wouldn't trade this improved body to go back to the version of you that was addicted to sugar and addicted to processed food, when you know how much better you feel having good quality meals, knowing you can eat them whenever you want. I want you to tap into how you would feel with a lean body shape, sleeping better, having more energy, feeling good because you've broken free of certain cravings and addictions by simply giving your body real food. As you tap into that feeling, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Feel like you're exiting the cinema screen, still seeing yourself on screen with that lean body shape that you desire, and taking that feeling that it is possible, but also inevitable for you, that with vegetables and lean protein over a long enough time, this is simply will be your body shape. Take that thought, that belief, return to the present as you take another deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, as very soon I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, optimistic, with a desire to eat more food but eat more real food, to eat meals, and to immediately take action, to have all of this food on hand, starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.